Throughout the history of mixed martial arts, few rivalries of style have shaped the sport as profoundly as the clash between Sambo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Both are grappling arts, both produce world champions, yet their philosophies, techniques and strategies diverge sharply. Today we dive deep into these two titans of grappling, exploring their origins, their strengths, their weaknesses, and how they have each carved their legacy into the DNA of modern MMA. To understand their clash, we must first understand where they come from. Sambo, an acronym for SAMozashchita Bez Oruzhiya, meaning self-defense without weapons, was born in the Soviet Union in the 1920s. It was a fusion martial art combining elements from Judo, traditional Russian wrestling and other folk wrestling styles from across the vast Soviet territories. Designed initially for military application, Sambo prioritized practical throws, control and rapid submissions, skills that could end a confrontation swiftly and decisively. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was quietly taking shape. In the early 20th century, Mitsuyo Maeda, a Japanese judo expert, traveled to Brazil and taught his art to the Gracie family. The Gracies adapted judo's techniques, emphasizing ground control and submissions, particularly for scenarios where an opponent was larger or stronger. Over time, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu evolved into a highly specialized ground fighting system focused on positional dominance, leverage and submission. The fundamental divergence between Sambo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu lies in their approach to grappling. Sambo emphasizes throws and quick submissions. In combat Sambo, which allows strikes, fighters are trained to bring opponents down hard and fast, then secure a leg lock, armbar or choke with speed and aggression. Sambo practitioners are particularly renowned for their dynamic takedowns, creative trips and devastating leg locks, including heel hooks and knee bars, long before these techniques became mainstream in MMA. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, by contrast, takes a methodical approach. BJJ practitioners prioritize gaining advantageous positions, the mount, side control, the back, before attempting submissions. Patience is key. In BJJ, the philosophy is to control first, then finish. The guard position in particular is a hallmark of BJJ, offering defense and offense from the bottom. Sambo brings several distinct advantages to the mixed martial arts arena. Firstly, explosive takedowns. Sambo fighters often have an edge in wrestling exchanges, using unorthodox throws that can surprise traditional wrestlers or BJJ players. Secondly, leg locks. Before the leg lock renaissance in MMA and submission grappling, Sambo practitioners were already experts at attacking the lower body. This made early Sambo fighters unpredictable and dangerous, particularly against opponents unfamiliar with defending such submissions. Thirdly, striking integration. Combat Sambo practitioners train with strikes in mind, punches, kicks, and even headbutts. This translates well into MMA, where being comfortable striking into a takedown or defending submissions under pressure is critical. Finally, Sambo encourages aggression and urgency. In Sambo tournaments, points are often awarded quickly, and stalling is penalized. This bred a style where fighters are conditioned to move forward, take risks, and capitalize on openings without hesitation. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu offers a different, but equally potent set of strengths. First, superior positional control. BJJ fighters are masters at pinning an opponent, making it difficult for them to escape or mount any offense. Second, submission chains. While Sambo often attacks submissions quickly and explosively, BJJ practitioners set traps, chaining together submission attempts to wear down an opponent's defenses. Third, guard play. If a BJJ fighter is taken down, they are comfortable fighting from their back, using sweeps, submissions, and positional transitions. This is a major advantage in MMA, where being on bottom is often seen as a disadvantage by fighters from other grappling styles. Finally, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fosters composure under pressure. The art teaches practitioners to remain calm even when pinned or attacked, and to think several moves ahead. This mental framework has led many BJJ-trained MMA fighters to stay composed during chaotic ground exchanges. Despite its strengths, Sambo is not without limitations in the cage. One weakness is the limited emphasis on positional control. While Sambo fighters excel at takedowns and submissions, they often prioritize attacking quickly over establishing dominant control. In MMA, losing position can lead to ground and pound damage or a scramble disadvantage. Another issue is less development from bottom positions. Traditional Sambo training discourages fighting off one's back. In an MMA context, being stuck underneath a heavy wrestler or a BJJ black belt can become a serious vulnerability. Additionally, submission defense beyond leg locks may not be as refined. While Sambo practitioners excel at attacking legs, they may lack deep experience defending against upper body submissions like triangle chokes, arm bars from the guard, or omoplatas. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too faces challenges in the modern MMA environment. One key weakness is difficulty dealing with explosive wrestlers or heavy ground and pound fighters. Without strong wrestling or takedown skills, pure BJJ players may struggle to dictate where the fight takes place. Second, over-reliance on the guard can be problematic. While the guard is powerful in grappling competitions, in MMA, being on your back means absorbing punches and elbows, and judges often score from a positional advantage standpoint. Third, BJJ fighters can sometimes lack urgency. Where Sambo pushes for quick finishes, BJJ's patient approach can backfire if fighters are content to lose rounds on the judges' scorecards while hunting for a submission that never materializes. When Sambo meets Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in MMA, the result often hinges on several factors. Who dictates where the fight takes place? If the Sambo fighter can impose takedowns and control the action from the top, their chances improve significantly. However, if the BJJ fighter can use sweeps, submissions, or positional transitions to reverse or neutralize the Sambo fighter, they can turn the tide. Sambo brings speed and aggression. BJJ brings calm strategy. If a Sambo practitioner attacks recklessly, they can fall into traps set by the BJJ fighter. Conversely, if the BJJ practitioner is too passive, they risk being controlled or finished early. Leg locks and submission defense. Historically, Sambo fighters have used leg locks as a weapon against BJJ practitioners. However, modern BJJ has evolved to integrate leg lock defense and attacks, narrowing the gap significantly. Ultimately, the clash between Sambo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a microcosm of MMA itself. A dynamic battle of styles, philosophies, and adaptation. Sambo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu have each gifted MMA with incredible athletes, unforgettable moments, and invaluable techniques. Both arts continue to evolve, learning from each other, blending strengths, and pushing the boundaries of what is possible inside the cage. In the end, it is not the style alone that wins fights, but the fighter's ability to understand their art, adapt to their opponent, and execute with precision. The dance between Sambo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu remains one of the most fascinating narratives in the world of mixed martial arts, and it is far from over.